going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's time for the first ever expansion-packed episode of the SwitchITUP cast.
Yes, sir. I am super excited to be willing to, fortunate enough, that is, to be able to talk all things Switch with you, my friend.
That's right, buddy. As everyone knows, because you're all longtime listeners and lovers of the Preach cast on the Preach Network, you all know we're big Nintendo fanboys at heart. So, because we both got the new system, the Nintendo Switch, we decided it's time to bring you a possibly bi-weekly, bi-monthly podcast all about the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, man, it took a while for you to be able to get your hands on one. It was a little scarce for a little bit there.
Oh my god, I tried solidly for at least 5 weeks, going in almost daily looking for one.
Was it worth all the effort that it took you to get your hands on one, you think?
I'll tell you what, the amount of time I've spent on the Switch, I feel like it's definitely worth it.
I've gotta agree with you wholeheartedly, sir. I mean, it's such a fun system to play with. And that being said, sir, why don't we go ahead and jump into our very first segment?
Ooh, that's right, brother. What's the name of this segment?
This is actually going to be called The Inventory.
Ooh, the inventory.
Yes, sir. I figured in the inventory is kind of going to be just general talk about kind of like what we're playing and like what's going on in our Switch lives, if you will.
Yeah, let's check out our extra large packs. Let's see what we've got in the old inventory. What do you got in yours today?
Well, basically, I feel like a lot of people who have a Nintendo Switch are in the same situation right now, where we were just kind of like overloading on Zelda. I can't get enough of Breath of the Wild, man, and I know that I'm sure you probably hear that on other Nintendo-related podcasts, but I'm telling you, it's such a fun game because there's so much to do. It's not like any other Zelda game in the fact that I don't have to have my entire thinking cap on when I'm playing it. So if I only have 30 minutes, it's not I'm like, oh man, I got 30 minutes. Do I go into this dungeon or anything like that? Or I can go through and I can work on little shrines and just work towards getting more pieces of the heart. I can go and explore. I can just go and look and be like, oh, I want to get to the top of that mountain so I can get a better view of what's going on. No matter what, how much time I have to play, there's something in that game that I can do. And that's a huge deal for me.
For a Zelda game, it's a crazy setup because Zelda games are fairly regimented and sort of streamlined in sort of the path that you have to take. And it's very much just you go from one location to the next. You get a bit of this story going on. You keep following forward sort of along this path. And now with Zelda Breath of the Wild, you have such a huge, massive open world, and there is so much to do. And like you were saying, you can sort of just kill 30 minutes just running around. I know I've spent a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of late nights by accident just running around being like, oh, cool, I found a desert. I'm going to roll around this desert for a while to see what's going on. What can I find? And it's another 5 or 6 shrines that you get done fairly quickly.
I feel like it makes Zelda more accessible for people who maybe just would look at it and be like, oh, I don't have the time to do that. Because if you wanted to, I mean, you would never be successful, but you could skip to the very last boss immediately as soon as you start the game. You'd get destroyed, but you could do it. But there's so much for you to do. I feel like it kind of segments it a little bit. It makes it just a little bit easier to digest. I can play a little bit at a time and still get there eventually. But I don't feel the pressure of you and I both played Destiny on PlayStation 4, and I feel at least when it was in its prime, it was you got to get on, you got to play this, you got to get this done. And Zelda always kind of had that feeling, but it doesn't anymore, which is refreshing.
No, and I feel like the experience has been different for every person I've been talking to about it, because we have some friends that do go through it relatively quickly and are very much I need to get everything, I gotta get it done, gotta beat the game. Personally, I know that I'm sort of handling it differently than you, even in how you're playing it, because I know that I'm in the middle of going to another location that you're not going to. I might have started off differently than you. We might have started the same. I went to the Zora place, then I went to the Volcano Goron people, and now I'm bombing around this desert.
Yeah, you were telling me about the desert the other day. It sounded really interesting. And as much as I want to know about it, I'm I almost don't. I don't want to know. I'm what's it going to be like when I get there? And that's...
I just killed the huge mini boss in the desert. It was pretty cool.
And that's what's so neat about it, man. Is like you can play. We have the freedom to be able to kind of go wherever you want. So like how you beat the game is necessarily not going to be the same order in how I beat it. You're right. It's awesome to be able to talk to people who are playing it and be like, oh, this is what I'm doing, and they'll be like, I've never seen that before. You know, like it's really cool because it used to be pretty linear, and that's just not the
Very linear.
not the case anymore.
Nah. Zelda. That's what I'm about.
Yeah, man. I mean, I gotta say, like, I'm at the same spot. Although I did pick up a new game the other day that I am excited to check out.
Did you?
I did. I got the Lego City Undercover game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was able to grab it from Amazon. They had like a used copy of it, so I was like, all right, I'll snatch that up. Which is all supposed to be like, it's almost like Grand Theft Auto, but in the Lego universe. And like a long time ago, they had this game called Lego Island for like PC. Did you ever play it?
I remember hearing about Lego Island. People loved Lego Island.
Yeah. And in Lego Island, like you more or less were like a brick guy. I don't know what they're called. I didn't see the Lego movies, but you're one of them. And
a legume.
Is that what they are?
I don't know.
You got no idea. But you're one of them, and you get to be like, you could be a policeman, you could be a firefighter, and you just go around like the city and like do jobs and stuff. So I'm anxious to kind of play like the new like HD version of Lego Island. At least I'm hoping that's what it is, but we'll see. Right now it's it's hard to get me to play something else other than Zelda because I have such a good time with it.
But some things that could be getting me away from Zelda, my friend, are some of our potent power-ups.
Yes, sir. Potent power-ups is going to be like our segment where we talk about some of the news items in the Nintendo Switch universe.
That's right. Potent power-ups is going to be our little spice, something a little saucé, if you will. Things we're super interested in, something we want to power up with, something we're all about. It's going to be our kind of news, things coming out, maybe some accessories to check out, things like that. And this week we got a few intriguing items on the docket.
We certainly do.
Things to take, get us beefed.
Yeah, man, we certainly do. And I am all about this this Sonic Forces reveal. It got me pretty excited about Sonic, I gotta say. Have you had a chance to take a look at the like they play through like the first level of it?
Yeah, I love it. Sonic Forces. I believe, is it a Nintendo exclusive?
I believe so. It looks like it's a it's kind of like a return to, I don't know, like Sonic 4 when it came out on PlayStation in a couple different episodes. It looks like in the video they kind of just run through the first level, which is still like Green Hill Zone, which I guess is kind of classic in a way. Like I feel like so many Sonic games start off in that setting. But
there are so many Green Hills.
There's too many.
Just in the world, they're everywhere.
What I like about it is I really like the 3D like effect in the background. It's a little distracting, but it does look super cool. And the music sounds like, it sounds like any other Sonic game. But I mean that in like the nicest way. Like it sounds authentic. So I think it's cool. I'm a little concerned about how much it's going to cost.
Probably $60.
I hope it's really not like that. I mean, I hope it's much more affordable. I'd like to see it be like, I don't know, like $30 or something like that.
That'd be great.
That'd be nice, or maybe at least in the same like pricing as like Bomberman R. But what's that like really good Sonic game that's coming out like later at the end of the year?
Sonic Mania.
That's the one. That's the one that I really have my eyes on, because that is straight up like 2D Sonic. So it's weird to see this come out like like before that. Like they seem like they're kind of going this. I mean, they're both Sonic side-scrolling games, so they're very similar,
Set for September release?
Yeah.
Something like that?
So, I mean, I don't know.
Sonic Forces. And it looks like it's sort of dealing with the same thing, too, where it's Sonic, the new Sonic, the one that's all cool and sliding on rails, doing his grind, 3D, the Sonic Adventure type. And it looks like he's teaming up still with the old 16-bit Sonic from the Genesis era.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with it. I don't know. I'm as interested as I am concerned. So
Sonic's storylines have always been so suspect.
Yeah.
It's always I enjoyed the older ones where it was literally just like, hey, this chubby doctor is being malicious to some animalia right now. He's roboticized them. Get him back to being critters. And you go and you do that. Super fast.
At the end of every level, you would jump on that like weird container thing, and it would just come out, and they'd be like happy.
All those bunnies would pop out and flickies.
And you'd be like, "Yes, I'm doing my part."
That's it. Yeah. That taught me the most about Earth Day. Sonic the Hedgehog.
He should be the new spokesman for Earth Day. I think that
I would wave that
would
flag. And it could be on all the green hills around the world.
Oh, you're too spot on, sir. Talk to me about this rumor about the Final Fantasy VII remake.
The rumor that it's coming like the old kind of style one to the Switch.
Yeah,
because I don't think the Switch can handle the newest one. My God. The new HD remake of Final Fantasy VII. So it looks like they're going to basically be getting a PlayStation 1 port of the Final Fantasy VII to the Switch. Which would
be cool. Like, I would like to see that for sure. I mean, I know we've played that game like, a bunch. But still, like, it's like I would buy it. I am excited to see more things come onto the Switch. But I mean,
me too. I'm excited to see what developers are going to do with it.
I mean, I'd really like to see like I don't know, a section in the like in the Virtual Console when it comes out with like games like that. But that's interesting because Final Fantasy VII is a PlayStation game.
It is. Technically, yeah. Square Enix is typically associated with Sony.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. Like, I mean, they definitely did like develop it and stuff, but it's just, it's weird. Like, that's in the world of gaming, like, that game is like synonymous with like the PlayStation.
It is. Final Fantasy VII specifically, because the older Final Fantasies were on your Game Boys and your Nintendos and your Super Nintendos. My girlfriend still playing Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo, I believe.
So yeah, still on the Super Nintendo?
Oh my God, loves it. That's the game of choice right now. That and Skyrim.
Awesome. Yeah. Skyrim. Well, remember, like, Skyrim supposedly is coming onto the Switch in time too.
That is true as well. I'm excited to see that because the Switch is such a mobile platform. Being able to take Skyrim like essentially on an iPad is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that would be it's kind of crazy. And it'll have a different audience, so it'll be interesting to see like, what the Nintendo people like think of a game like that. Although, don't they say that isn't Zelda supposed to be bigger?
Then Skyrim it is. The map itself is actually bigger than Skyrim.
Which is absurd, because I remember when Skyrim first came out, they were like, this is the biggest map like ever.
The biggest map that's ever been gamed.
I don't know. Skyrim's a little bit too much for me, personally. It's there's so much going on.
As well, I could never get into it. I'm thinking about getting at it, every now and then it's talked about trying out Skyrim, but it's too much. It's too much going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Being able to talk to people as well. I don't need to be talking to characters with multiple interactions. Be trying to sleep with everybody.
Destiny, I feel like is the most involved game that I play currently. Like, there's a lot going on there to the point where I was like, I wouldn't think I would play a game that's that in depth. But I'm sure it'll get more so in depth. And even though there will be no Destiny on Switch, there has been talk about there possibly being Overwatch on the Switch.
I saw that too. They're thinking about porting Overwatch over to the Nintendo Switch. Overwatch, of course, is the only multiplayer FPS where you play as 12, 13 very unique characters that all have insane super moves. A lot of fun.
Yeah, they all have all these like really cool superpowers, and one thing that's awesome about Overwatch is they have a bunch of different modes for like how the game is played. One of the drawbacks with Destiny is like we don't really have anything like mode wise for PvP that's exciting. We have domination, or we call it control, which is where you just have to capture a point. You have like literal deathmatch. You have what, free for all. And then you also have, what else do we have? Rift, which is basically capture the flag, but there's one flag. So it's literally the same like modes that you've had since like Team Fortress, like the OG Team Fortress from like the late 90s. It's like this, and
even Gary's mod.
Yeah, and even that had more stuff than we do currently. But in Overwatch, you have a ton of different modes and all these cool like superheroes, and like our people that we play with on Destiny, myself included. Like, we're so married to that game that like it would be really hard to switch and go to a different game. But if it was on the Nintendo Switch, being able to bring something like that and like have it portable, like that would be awesome.
It would be so cool because, of course, the Switch does have Wi-Fi capabilities. So you get on any Wi-Fi network, you got your Switch on you, hanging out at Starbucks, you pull that baby right out.
Yeah, or even taking that even like a step further, like you could tether that to your phone. All of a sudden,
oh my god!
All of a sudden, you're in the passenger seat of your car. Hopefully, because like I swear, like if somebody hits me and they're playing Overwatch, I would lose it. I'm gonna lose it right after I ask you for your friend code. I'm gonna be angry.
That's it, right?
I'm gonna be like, we can play together now. Give me your insurance. That's almost all that we have, I think, for news. However, I have this really cool stand that I got that I want to talk about real quick. It's actually right on over here. And so much of the time I'm playing like handheld. I do connect my Switch to the television occasionally. I don't really mind like the Joy-Con grip that it comes with. It's pretty comfortable. But most of the time I'm doing it handheld. But a lot of people are getting into using different stands for their Switch. And there's a really cool one on Amazon, which is like the Hori stand that like everybody buys. It's like $12.99. But it's also back ordered. Like you haven't been able to get it for months, and it's still back ordered for a couple months. But there's this other stand. It's basically just called like a tablet stand by this company, IXCC, and it is. We'll put a picture of it over on our Twitter and our Instagram, which there'll be a link to it in the show notes, so you can check it out. But basically, it's like an $8 like little like aluminum metal stand thing. It kind of like clips shut, it locks into position, and what's cool about it, aside from the fact that it's pretty much the perfect size for the Switch, there's actually a hole in the bottom of it where you can run your cable so you could charge. Because a lot of the stands don't have that, and this thing's only like $8. If it's not 8, it's 9. So on top of the fact that it's metal and that it folds flat, and then it's really not bigger. If you're an Apple person, it's not bigger than the wireless trackpad. It's actually a little bit smaller than that. I think it's awesome. I personally don't have a like on the go charger yet because they're like kind of pricey. But when a cheap one comes out, or like when a good battery pack like reaches like a normal price, I would definitely like I'll have this to use it with. Or if you want to just set it up, to play somewhere, it's perfect for travel. It's really tiny. It would fit in a bag with no problem. So I would check that out. We'll put a link to that in the show notes as well, so you can go see, because not only is it good, it's cheap, and they don't always go together.
No, God no. Great find, man. I definitely feel powered up.
I'm looking out for you, man. I'm trying to get you nothing but the best.
I'll tell you, with those new power-ups, I'm feeling like I'm ready to press continue.
That's it,
That's
sir.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's a segment where we talk about new releases, things coming out this week on the Nintendo Switch. If you're a fan of the Preachcast, of course, we have our classic segment, Coming Attractions. Here, we are gonna press continue.
There we go, sir. We have a couple of releases coming out this week, and I'm going to save the best for last, so I feel like it's a kind of obvious one, so we'll get to that when we get to it. But let's start off with something that's a little bit weirder that I don't really have too much experience with, but we were talking about it earlier, and you seem like you would probably be good at this game, and that is Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yeah, buddy.
So this is developed by Sega, and basically it's like a split between like regular Tetris, which we all know and either love or hate, and it also has this other game to it called Puyo Puyo, which is basically it's similar in the Tetris in the fact that it's like a scrolling puzzle game where you have all types of like different pieces, or in this case like colored blobs that like drop down. I think those are actually the Puyo Puyos themselves, and you have to get 4 of them in a not necessarily in a row, we'll say together. So they could be a complete straight line, 4 in a row, 4 in a row on a horizontal way, or it can be like two that are like stacked up next to each other. It's kind of weird. I feel like it might be easier than Tetris to start off with, but it's kind of, you probably have to like be a genius to master it. I was never any good at these puzzle games, sir. How about yourself?
I love it. It's Puyo Puyo, if you'll recall from the old school Sega Genesis days and Sonic Master Collections. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine plays exactly like that. Plays a little bit like a Bejeweled type deal. You know, you just make a pattern of 4, have the 4 things touching. It doesn't have to be necessarily a straight line. Very, very fun type game. You know, a lot of combos can be made. And then Tetris, classic. You know, I maintain to this very day that I'm able to pack a car well for a vacation because of all my Tetris skills.
That makes sense, man. I feel like Tetris is a little bit easier to play. What about yourself?
I actually like the Puyo Puyo style more than a Tetris. Tetris, you have to make a complete line, and you always get that like 1Z kind of shape, but it's facing the wrong way. It's a backward Z, and it doesn't go anywhere. You're screwed.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Are you think you're gonna pick this up? It's $39. It's a little pricey. That's actually more money on the Switch than it is on any other console. Because you can get it for PS4, it's $29. It is $39 physical edition, or you can get it for $29 digital, I believe. So it's a little pricier on our console of choice.
Yeah, God no, I'm not gonna spend money on that. I have enough gem games on my phone.
From what I hear, the demo actually lets you play an awful lot. You can just get the demo and it's free, and you can do a lot. You can't do everything, but you can still have a good time with it. So it's a good way maybe to kind of like, you know, wet your whistle and see if you're into it or not. But
test the waters.
Yeah, man. Personally, I'm with you, man. I don't think it's quite for me. Not for that. Maybe if it was like $15-$20 maybe, but you know, it's a
$5.
It's a hard
Something
maybe.
Like $5.
Well, you know what? It's wonderful that you bring up $5, sir, because there is a $5 game for you that actually came out to the North American eShop today, and that is Kamiko. Kamiko. Yeah. So in Kamiko, you are a priestess called Kamiko, and you're battling against demons while solving puzzles to make your way through the stages. It kind of looks like an arcadey version of like OG Zelda, and each stage has these gates that are sealed magically, and you have to find a way to break the seals to go to the boss. So I mean, it looks really cool. The graphics have like a really like nostalgic like 8-bit feel to them, and it's $5.
That's not bad.
No. You should definitely, at least if you're on the eShop going to get the next release, you should definitely check out Kamiko. I mean, I paid $4.99 for it because I'm like, yo, that is cheap, and I'm gonna get me some coins that I can use in a discount for a future game. So I'm in.
There you go. I love the Mario coins, the My Nintendo coins they give you for discounts.
You know, I'm excited that we have them. I'm anxious to kind of see like what we can do with them, because at the moment, like, you know, you're getting all these coins, but like, what can I do with them?
I have a bunch for Mario Run still.
Yeah, I have some for
left
that.
Over from there.
I don't know. I'm hoping we get some virtual console stuff so I could start trading them in for more games. That would make me happy.
I feel like you should be able to get an original port of Tetris, like from Game Boy.
You should be able to get something, man. I want some good stuff. I'm
gonna be 100 coins.
That would be nice. I don't know, but we just talked about how you're not gonna buy Puyo Puyo Tetris. Now you want regular Tetris?
Regular Tetris for free, essentially.
All right, that's
for
true.
Earned achievement.
That's fair. But let's talk about the big elephant in the room, sir. That's gonna be Mario Kart.
That's the one.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I mean, obviously, I'm not even gonna ask you if you're buying this. I feel like everybody with a Switch is buying this game. Physical or digital, and how come?
I am buying it digitally because I feel like Mario Kart is the kind of game that you want to be able to just play at any point in time. Physical games for me anymore, I only really want to buy it physically if I'm going to maybe get like a deluxe edition of something. You know what I mean? Like if it's going to come with like a special little gimmick. Like I know I tried to buy that Dragon Ball Z game because it was supposed to come with a bust of Vegeta. Turned out it didn't because of some licensing. I bought Arkham City specifically because it came with a bust of Batman, and I was like, okay, awesome. But then there's other games like Horizon Zero Dawn where I'm like, cool, let me just get that digitally so I don't have to worry about taking out Destiny. On the Switch, let me buy Mario Kart so I don't have to worry about taking out Zelda.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you, and I'm somebody who usually almost always buys the physical copy. One, because I like to have the actual like box. I like how I like how everything looks on a shelf. I like the packaging. I'm all into that, and I also like the 20% discount that Amazon Prime gives you. So I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. But this is probably one of the first like games that I'm like, okay, I'm definitely like, it's a full price game and I'm going digital for the exact same reason. The biggest appeal to the Switch for me is that I'm sitting there, like, I'm laying in bed, I'm playing it, and if I want to be able to switch something out and change a different game, it's just right there. I don't have to do anything. To me, I feel like that's worth it. I literally like canceled my pre-order on Wednesday afternoon, and I was like, okay, like I'm going digital. I'm taking the plunge.
Convinced you?
Yeah, you really did, and it's hard. It's hard to do that because sometimes I'm a little stubborn. A lot of times I'm a little stubborn, but this this did it for me, and it's gonna be really cool to be able to just kind of switch back and forth between that. And I'm super excited for the actual battle mode to return because I really missed that battle mode from Nintendo 64.
That was a lot of fun. Going around those 4 cubes. You have balloons on your back. You get to fight your friends.
Yeah, man, and I'm like, I hope we get to be able to play that online. That's gonna be a great time. If you want to play with us, Mario Kart, we would love to play with you. So go ahead, reach out to us on Twitter. You'll see our Twitter handle right in the show notes, and we will definitely make sure that we add you because we definitely want to play this with as many of you as possible.
Absolutely. Let's get a Grand Prix going.
Trying to have a bunch of like random strangers on my friends list. What do you say?
I'm in.
So, sir, we're going to move ahead and roll up into the final section, I think, entitled The Wonderful Let's Play.
Let's Play!
There it is, sir. So, and this is going to be kind of like our segment where we do a little bit of a mini review on a game, and we're going to go from playing a game online to kind of like the old school method of multiplayer gaming, like playing sitting next to somebody like on the couch or like, laying around like on the floor in front of the TV. And we're talking about Snipper Clips, sir.
Snipper Clips?
Yep. Have you played this yet by chance?
You know what? I haven't had a chance to because I didn't realize that it was co-op like that. But next time my girlfriend's over, we're gonna play Snipper Clips. Oh,
dude, let me tell you something. If you have anybody like to play Snipper Clips with or play like a multiplayer game with, like this is the game that you straight up need to have. First of all, the price point is like on point. It is $19.99. And basically, it's kind of like a two-person puzzle game. It's cooperative, so you're not trying to, beat somebody else. But you are like these, let's say you are, I don't know, you're a shape. You're basically like a card, like a, what's that construction paper? You're like a construction paper cutout. And each different level that you go through, you're like kind of overlaid on top of like graphing paper. And one of you is a yellow construction paper person, and the other person is a pink construction paper person. And in different levels, as you progress through and it gets more and more difficult, you have to kind of find ways to like fit yourself into like different shapes and things like that. And you do so by kind of overlapping each other, and you press a button on the Joy-Con and you actually take a chunk out of the other person. So you have to like, you have to like fit yourself into different positions and different shapes. And in certain levels, you have to like move a ball around through like a maze or a course, or maybe you have to put it through like a basketball hoop. And I really like this game a lot. I also have like 1-2-Switch, which I thought would be like kind of like the gateway drug to like get people to play the Switch with me. I was hoping that all those like little like gimmicky games in it, like like Quick Draw and like the game where you have to like milk the cows. Like I thought that would be like, oh, this would show people like why. It would be like I don't know, like on Wii you had Wii Bowling. Like people played Wii Bowling and no matter like who they were, like they played that and they were like, this is awesome, this is fun.
You can bowl on TV.
Dude, it was cool. It was cool.
It was awesome. I had many a party that was around Wii Bowling.
And Snipper Clips is what does that for the Nintendo Switch. Like, it gets you excited to play it. It's something different that, like, you haven't really played before. And it's perfect because a level, like, when they first start off, like, you're done a level in, like, 30 seconds. And then it progressively gets harder. And it's, like, what used to take you, like, just a minute to do, like, now is taking you, like, 10 minutes to do. But it's not so difficult that you can't do it. It progresses along with you. So I mean, I'm a huge fan of Snipper Clips. I feel like everybody needs to have this game, and they've already announced that there's DLC coming out with it, and there's a ton of levels on it. I love it, man. You definitely need to play this.
That's awesome.
With your lady when you get a chance. I feel like everybody needs to play this.
How is it to use the Joy-Cons singularly?
It's not the worst.
No?
It's not the worst, man. I mean, like, I don't have...
It's tiny. It's going to be a tiny grip area.
I don't have giant hands. I also don't have the hands of a child. So, like, I have like, an average man hand, I guess.
I have really small hands.
Well, then it's going to be perfect for you. Because I feel like the Joy-Con is a little cramped. And when you're playing it for a while, it does kind of feel a little...
It hurts.
Hurts a little bit.
I have a bit of a pain on my left thumb from all the Zelda.
Oh.
Developing that carpal tunnel.
I'm sorry. You know what carpal tunnel you say?
Is that what that is?
Is that what that is?
I don't know. That's what the people complain about, right? When you type, I feel like it's the same sort of hand.
I think you're right, Seth. And in fact, I think you're so right. You know what's actually really good for carpal tunnel? The nice, comfortable chair of the movie theater. And if you haven't been to the movies, you owe it to yourself to download the wonderful mobile app, official, by the way, sponsor of the Preach Network, Atom Tickets. All right, Atom Tickets is great, okay? Because you don't even have to use that hand. You can use your other hand. You can use any hand you want when you are not only purchasing your tickets, inviting your friends. You can actually order a nice cold beverage. That Dr. Pepper right there that you're drinking, you can order that and have it waiting for you at the theater when you arrive. And even better, sir, if you're a new person who just downloaded Atom Tickets, you can use the promo code PREESHUS, PREESHUS. It will save you $5. And if that relaxing trip to the movies doesn't cure that carpal tunnel that you have, you can apply that $5 to like a cream or a salve of some type, and hopefully that'll do it for you. But just thought I'd throw that out there because, I care about you. But I think Snipper Clips is going to be worth any possible carpal tunnel that you might endure, sir.
I agree. You just sold it to me with that rousing promo.
I thought that I thought that would do it for you. There is a really cool. Speaking of like the size issue with the Joy-Con, there is like a cool little, I don't know, I don't want to say like Joy-Con extender, but it's like this little controller that actually flips open and you can drop the Joy-Con in it and then you close it and it lives in this controller that kind of like, it's like a grip. It's a Joy-Con grip essentially. Makes it a little bit bigger, closer to the size of maybe like a little smaller than a Genesis controller. So it makes it more...
I grew up on the Genesis
I know, controller. Right? So did I, sir. Born and raised. But I would go, I would definitely check out one of them. They're like $12 and you get 2 of them. So I'll link to that too. I got some work to do, sir. It sounds like, but Snipper Clips definitely 1000%. You owe it to everybody. You have a Switch, you buy this game.
You owe it to yourself.
You do.
If you got the Switch, you probably got Snipper Clips on that bundle.
Yeah, that's right. I did not. I didn't get it on that bundle.
That's how I own it. It's also how I have Bomberman R.
Oh, Bomberman R, man.
But that might be another conversation.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that next time. I want to know.
We should talk about that next time. Next time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll probably review Bomberman R unless we both manage to finish Zelda, which doesn't seem likely.
No way.
But until then, ladies and gentlemen, we want to make sure you always have your coins at the ready. And remember to keep switching it up with the Preach Network.